A little bit about Philly, man. I just want to ask you two more questions. I know how you feel about Danny. A lot of people out here, I'm from the Philadelphia area. I live out here now. A lot of people out here, especially media fans, they think that Danny Garcia is a cherry picker. I know you don't share in that train of thought, but what's your reaction to fans and media who say that Danny's a cherry picker?
First of all, I love Danny Garcia because when Julian was when Al Heyman first saw Julian Williams, he didn't have any other fighters from Philadelphia except for Danny Garcia. So he called Danny Garcia and said, "Hey man, is this kid the real deal?" And Danny Garcia gave Julian his blessings. So that means a lot to me. I probably never even told Danny thank you, but him and Julian been cool since they were amateurs. And a lot of people, man, they don't want to see people in a better position than them. And they hate and they jealous. But Danny's a good kid. He's not like that. He opens his gym up to us when he needs us. Him and his dad are always nice and respectful. They got a great team. And I just think it's a shame that so many people hate him, man, because the kid do a lot for the community, a lot of poor kids, man. Danny's a good dude. As far as his resume, that's not my business, you know what I mean? I don't comment on that. They fight who they want to fight. He makes a hell of a lot more money than Julian. That's not my business. I never comment on it because people love a lot of negativity, and I'm never going to say anything bad about somebody that showed us that kind of love. But I always bring up, Danny fought 2 big fights where he was the underdog, and I know where they were a minute ago. But he was a kid. He was only like 22, 23 years old, and he took those fights. Most people don't put their fighters in a fight with Matisse or Khan at a young age and be the underdog. And now he's taking another one. So while all of his opponents, he may not have fought killers every time out, if you look at his overall resume, you'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. His resume is top 10 in boxing at least. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of an enigma because obviously he has a couple of guys on there. I'm not going to say that he don't. You know what I mean? But he got a couple of killers on there who people picked to beat him. And then when he won, you know, it's like they get mad. So I don't understand it. So I got a lot of love for Danny Garcia. And Julian does too. And, you know, you're never going to hear me say anything negative about the guy because, you know, he takes some tough fights. He just don't fight tough fights after tough fight after tough fight after tough fight like everybody wants him to do. Then again, who does, you know? Yeah, it's not, you know, man, you could listen, Abner Mares is a great fighter, right? But a few years ago, he took killer after killer after killer. Mm-hmm. Now people are saying that at 29, he's not the same guy no more because of that. I don't know if he is or not. I'm not a scientist. I don't train him. I'm just telling you that there is a consensus opinion that he lost his prime in that bantamweight tournament fighting all of those killers. But everybody wanted Danny to fight killer after killer after killer. And when he signed to fight Keith Thurman, like, why is everybody mad? Everybody picking Keith Thurman to beat him. Keith Thurman's the favorite. He's bigger. They're going to say Keith Thurman going to beat him, so I just don't understand it, but it's not my business, and I don't engage in like trying to convince anybody or somebody else. You know what I mean? I'm not a politician.
No, I know.
People can think whatever they want to think. I just mind my business.
I really just wanted to ask because you're always a non-biased opinion, and you always offer good insight like you just did. You know?
He fight tough fights, and he fights some showcase fights. That's the reality of it. But if you're a boxing manager and you want to maximize your guy, you ain't gonna put him in with a killer every time out. Unless you freaking got Ray Robinson or something, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna do that. That shit wears on you, you know what I mean? So, whatever, people, that's not my fight, man. I wish Danny and his team and Angel the best of luck.
How do you think that fight's gonna play out between him and Thurman? I had to ask.
You know what? I think it's a great fight. I don't have a pick yet because fights is won in camp a lot of times. No, I don't have a pick yet. But Danny's not as over his head as everybody think. If you look at Keith and Danny stand next to each other, Danny might be taller than him. You know, Danny's not a little guy. I just said Keith was bigger. Keith fought at a higher weight. I don't know if he's bigger though. You know what I mean? And Keith has some advantages. I definitely think he has the foot speed advantage. Keith got really good feet and he can move around the ring. Danny got really good timing. He's been in rough before. You know, he understands what it's like to be stressed out and not know if he's winning rounds going down the stretch. Obviously, Keith is a slight favorite, and he probably should be. He's a little more athletic. But I don't think Danny's over his head in this fight. You know, and I'm not just saying that for the Philly thing. I think that he has a legitimate chance to win. I would have to sit down and really look at the guys and, you know, and analyze it a little bit better before I give a pick. But I think Danny's in the fight. I wouldn't be. He has an iron chin. He has one of the best chins in boxing. Nobody talks about that. Yep. Every time you hit Danny, take it and keep on pushing.
Yeah, Matisse, he knocked the mouthpiece out.
And Danny got an iron chin. Nobody talks about. Gotta have one of the top 10 chins in boxing. You know, so never goes down.
I'd say probably top 5 right now. Current fighters.
He has a freaking chin, man. So I don't know, man. You know, I'm gonna leave it alone. Danny's in that fight. You know, it depends on the corners and the game plan and how camp is going. Because Danny's gonna have to make some adjustment. Keith is no joke. Keith can punch off the fly, and that's not easy. He moves in and out, and he'll jump in with something and hit you with something that he accentuates his power because he moves away from you and you come to him. He jumps in, man. He could crack you. You know what I mean? He caught Sean like that a couple of times. Sean has another granite chin, but you know it's a great fight. As a fan, you want to see a fight like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that one.